Welcome students. In this session on Gandhian alternatives to contemporary issues, we will discuss globalization, exploitation by domination. Globalization and its impact. Globalization refers to the process of international integration arising from interchange of worldviews, products, ideas and other aspects of culture. Globalization is generally understood to mean integration of the economy of the country with world economy. It is an outcome of the set of various policies that are aimed at transforming the world towards greater interdependence and integration. It involves creation of networks and activities transcending economic, social and geographical boundaries. It is thus turning the world into one whole or creating a borderless world. Hence, globalization can be seen as an opportunity in terms of greater access to global markets, high technology and increased possibility of large industries of developing countries to play an important role in international arena. On the contrary, the critics of globalization argue that it is a strategy of developed countries to expand their markets in other countries. The market driven globalization has widened the economic disparities among nations and the people. In the present age of globalization, poor people as well as the underdeveloped nations are getting marginalized. It is true that global economic integration is creating opportunities for people around the world, but it is also leading to the widening the gaps between the poorest and richest countries. Many of the poorest countries are marginalized from the growing opportunities of expanding international trade, investment and in use of new technologies. This was clearly stated by Jagdan and Michael when they wrote, "While the world may be full of complex mobility and interconnections, there are also quite a number of people whose experience is marginal to or excluded from these movements and links. Indeed, not everyone and every place particular equality in the circuits of interconnections that traverse the globe, and this too is a world of globalization. Therefore, it has exciting possibilities and at the same time it can lead to unprecedented miseries." Globalization has created a serious crisis affecting wage workers, farmers and employees everywhere. The march of globalization adversely affected agriculture, the backbone of Indian economy. Unemployment and poverty shot up as a result of the decline of indigenous cottage and small scale industries. A huge number of workers lost their jobs. The quality of life, especially in the rural areas, declined with a steady decline of social services, mainly in education and health. In this system, the government will not have much to invest in schemes favoring the weaker section of the society, since its reliance is necessarily on market can never be a benefactor of the deprived classes. All these point to the fact that the world in the 21st century witnesses the global triumph of market economics, the retreat of the state and the generation of the unprecedented wealth. The need of the hour is that kind of policy that can ensure the availability of basic amenities and equal opportunities to the poorest and the deprived classes also, so that social equality and rights could be enjoyed by all. The benefits of development should reach the poor and all the hurdles in the path of their emancipation should be removed. Here lies the relevance of Gandhian economic principles. Gandhi's relevance is perhaps even greater to this century than to the one in which he lived. Now, let us see how Gandhian economic ideals based on ethical principles can prove to be a solution to the current market economic problems faced by India. Gandhian concept of Swadeshi as a solution to the economic crisis. Gandhi was aware of the capitalist form of production, particularly of its exploitative nature. As he was also aware of the invaluable advantages of personal interest that is associated with capitalist production, he tried to evolve a production system which, while retaining the advantage of self-interest, eliminated the exploitative mechanism. In this context, Gandhi came out with two proposals. The first of this we have already discussed, that is the concept of trusteeship. The second proposal, which is less known, but what appears to be fundamental to Gandhi's economic system, is his proposal that a productive system which ensured simultaneously in production and distribution should be evolved. Gandhi believed that the satisfaction of this condition would eliminate the exploitative mechanics of the capitalist system. It is a means of attaining a process of production which would cause both production and distribution to take place simultaneously, that Gandhi advocated the principle of Swadeshi, which in essence envisaged the indigestion of not merely methods and patterns of production, but also of the market. Having outlined the ailment of Indian economy, we can now look how Gandhian developmental strategy can help us to solve this crisis to some extent. Gandhi held that economics and ethics cannot be separated from each other and must be studied as a whole. In the opinion of Anthony J. Parel, Gandhi in his turn re-emphasized this meaning. A sound economy is one that empowered the last and the least of society and helped to create and develop in them the necessary capacities and moral dispositions. The principle of buying in the cheapest and selling in the dearest market was a most inhuman law of economics, for market in globalization is based on the concept of buy now and pay later. As against this, Gandhi considered economic decentralization as the fundamental principle, and this is what we need today. Dr. Manmohan Singh also stood for decentralization when he said that decentralization will be able to mobilize the grassroots knowledge and public awareness to prevent the misuse of public funds for private ends. In India, democracy can succeed only when it is built up in a grassroots manner. This can be done by following the Gandhian concept of Swadeshi and analysis. Gandhi realized that much of the heart-rending poverty of the masses is due to the ruinous departure from Swadeshi in the economic life. His thesis was that India would not have been poor if the articles of consumption had not been brought from outside India. The broad meaning of Swadeshi is the use of all homemade things to the exclusion of foreign things. Gandhi believes that the economic good of all lies in strictly practicing the principles of Swadeshi. It is a plea for protecting village industries which enjoys abundant manpower. We have to provide food, work and employment to our immediate neighbors. Swadeshi is a doctrine employed for the protection of home industry. According to Manmohan Chowdhury, the principle of Swadeshi is a fundamental concept in Gandhian economic thought. It defines the relation of individual to his society and the larger world in terms of socially responsible economic behavior. Thus, the practice of Swadeshi would result in innumerable self-supporting and self-contained units meeting their primary needs locally and exchange with the other units such necessary commodities that are not locally producible. Swadeshi spirit never allows exploitation of raw materials of a country. It does not neglect the powerful manpower. In a speech delivered before the Missionaries Conference, Madras on 14th February 1960, Gandhi defined Swadeshi in the following way. Swadeshi is that spirit in us which restricts us to use and service of our immediate surroundings to the exclusion of the more remote. Thus, as for religion, in order to satisfy the requirements of definition, I must restrict myself to ancestral religion, that is, the use of my immediate surroundings. If I find it defective, I should serve it by purging it of its defects. In domain of politics, I should make use of the indigenous institutions and serve them by curing them of their proved defects. In that of economics, I should use only that are produced by my immediate neighbors and serve those industries by making them efficient and complete where they might be found wanting. Wasting time and money in producing goods which are unsuitable to the Indian amounts to the negation of the Swadeshi spirit. It is false Swadeshi. At the same time, Swadeshi does not mean boycotting foreign goods. Gandhi observed any article is Swadeshi if it subserves the interest of the millions, even though the capital and talent are foreign, but under effective Indian control. Swadeshi is also one of the ways of non-violence, and therefore, a true believer of Swadeshi will not harbor any ill feeling towards foreign things. It is not a cult of hatred, but a doctrine of selfless service that has its roots in ahimsa. Gandhi would be prepared to buy from any part of the world things are needed for the growth of his country, but he would insist on the use of Swadeshi when such foreign things are sought to be imported that hamper the economic status of home industry. Swadeshi thus is not an outright rejection of everything foreign. It is based on a feeling of concern for the economic and political stability of one's own country. The concept of Swadeshi comprises three propositions. The first of being the reduction of wants by each individual consumer, the second the reordering of preferences in such a way that it is made up mostly of goods produced in the neighborhood, and the third is the cooperation of the consumer with his neighbor producer to make them both work effectively. This principle desires competition and stresses the need to promote cooperation between the consumer and the producer, which in turn leads to a downward trend in cost function. An individual service to his country and humanity consisted in serving his neighbor. One should not serve one's distant neighbor at the expense of the nearest. This is the foundation of true and humane economics, which form one of the basic teachings of all religions. Gandhi found no contradiction between the principle of Swadeshi interpreted in terms of neighbor and that of rendering service to all humanity. The neighborhood principle has direct consequences for the interpretation of ethical preferences in terms of Swadeshi, namely, whenever local products are available, they should be preferred to their imported counterparts. Accordingly, for Indians, there is a moral obligation to use products made in India whenever they can get them, even though these may be inferior to their foreign counterparts. For example, India produces a sufficient quality of leather. It is therefore a duty on the part of Indian consumer to wear shoes made of Indian leather in preference to foreign leather shoes, even if they are of an inferior quality. Swadeshi items should not be discarded in favor of better or cheaper foreign things. But this does not mean that all foreign things were to be excluded. Only certain things of which we produce their counterparts here in our own country has to be excluded. An example is cloth, and the emphasis is on foreign cloth. The ethics of Swadeshi required the exclusion of not only British cloth, but all the foreign clothes. In fine, we can say that the spirit of Swadeshi is not contrary to anything that is aligned. On the contrary, a nation could import those goods that are needed for its growth, but such import should not interfere or hinder the growth of a nation. Swadeshi is one of the best ways of preventing manufacture of goods in abundance that creates unemployment and exploitation. If a person wishes to increase his business so as to supply also the needs of others than those who belong to that unit, he will find that no one else would be willing to buy his goods due to a moral responsibility towards his neighbors. Thus, he would be prevented from developing into a large scale manufacturer. Even if the article produced elsewhere are more attractive than those produced locally, they will not be allowed to flood out of local products. At the same time, the local producer is encouraged to improve the quality of his products to come up to the standard of foreign goods. Thus, the consumer will limit themselves to and help to improve the quality of local produce. Relevance of Swadeshi in the age of globalization. Swadeshi was the economic foundation of Indian nationalism. The idea behind it was to protect Indian economic independence as well as local industries and to prevent the drain of resources. To prevent this drain, Swadeshi based upon self-help and sacrifice was the only alternative. It was based upon the revival of cottage and village industries, revival of panchayat system or self-government, and opposition to large scale industrialization and western commercialization, mechanization and western commercialism and values. But later on it involved reconciliation of large scale industries with nationalization of key industries and urban reorganization to cater to the needs of rural people, economic equality and fulfillment of basic minimum needs of all human beings. Economics of Khadi. A corollary to Swadeshi was Gandhi's stress on khadi. Since khadi is produced by the common man in every village, the economic power is distributed to every village and to every man. The Swadeshi movement comes to be regarded primarily as a means of encouraging consumer to wear khadar. Accordingly, people were asked to buy khadar in preference to mill made cloth and to boycott foreign cloth altogether. Gandhi insisted on khadi because it represented the Swadeshi and self-reliant strategy. The rationale behind the insistence on village industries and on khadi was to enhance the national wealth through small scale industries. True Swadeshi, as Gandhi enunciated, consisted in encouraging and reviving the home industries. He espoused it especially for those who are unemployed and willing to work hard to meet their basic requirements or add to their inadequate incomes. Moreover, village industries are necessary to make the village self-supporting and self-contained with their own manufacturing tools and techniques. Gandhi advocated developing of skills by villages so that their products would have high demands in market. This would help to improve their skills and at the same time makes their life worth living in the absence of enduring poverty and unemployment. As noted by J. N. Sharma, Gandhi sought to build India from bottom, that is from the poorest and the weakest, and hence followed the centrality of the villages. Thus, he tried to give a new meaning to Swadeshi through the concept of reconstruction or regeneration of the villages. Khadi became a symbol of Swadeshi in the Gandhian economics, and charkha or spinning wheel became an ethical symbol of Swadeshi. He believed that it is our desire to wear the foreign manufactured cloth that displays charkha from its dignified status. In order to revive the dignity, Gandhi took to the charkha. Gandhi saw in the spinning wheel an economic tool for the restoration of the prosperity of Indian handicrafts. His penetrating insight into the dehumanizing effect of economic system, political structures and religious institutions was remarkable. The charkha was a message to the whole nation to be self-reliant, to take a pride in manual labor and to learn to work out for its own liberation. He maintained that it is a symbol of nation's prosperity. Individual was his supreme concern, and so he insisted that people's humanity has to be preserved and protected against the onslaught of machine mentality driven by a profit motive. He believed that charkha was the only means to achieve full employment to establish a non-violent economy. It is a means to attain equitable distribution of income, which is an essential requirement of non-violent economic order. According to Gandhi, Khadi stands for simplicity and helps in bridging the gulf between the rich and the poor. It offers an honorable employment, utilizes the idle houses, elevates the living standards in the villages and act as a great organizing power along the peaceful lines. Gandhi wrote in Harijan, Khadi has a big mission. Khadi provides dignified labor to the millions who are otherwise idle for nearly 4 months in the year. Even apart from the remuneration of the worker brings, it is its own reward. It was Khadi alone which teach our village population to depend on their own efforts to improve their lot and thus to learn their first lesson in real independence. It contains the seeds of true Swaraj or self-rule in the real sense of the term. Gandhi felt that in order to withstand the onslaught of Western missionary, India should adopt self-supporting techniques, and the khadi and the spinning wheel represented the best alternative. Swadeshi movement. To realize the Swaraj, Gandhi believes that the ideal of Swadeshi is necessary in every sense. Gandhi took this Swadeshi to the popular level by making a powerful political movement with mobilization of masses. Gandhi created a new form of Swadeshi politics that encouraged the production of exclusive consumption of khadi. Gandhi described Swadeshi as a call to consumer to be aware of the violence he is causing by supporting those industries that result in poverty, harm to the workers and to humans and other creatures. Indian nationalists believed that the causes of their economic woes were partly due to the British colonization of India. Swadeshi was a nationalist movement to boycott British goods and to buy Indian goods. The Gandhian nationalist movement rendered khadi a discursive concept by defining its significance in terms of contemporary politics and economics of Swadeshi. Gandhi realizes the Swaraj through Swadeshi. Swadeshi was paradigmatic instance of totalizing territorial nativism by connecting national economy, territory and culture. Gandhi's Swadeshi is always in defense of indigenous skill, local knowledge systems, cultural traditions and village economy. Swadeshi may read as self-sufficiency of the home through revitalization in all its aspects. Through Swadeshi, Gandhi is successful in uniting the economic struggles with national movement. Gandhi envisaged an organic and political society characterized by the economic self-sufficiency and social harmony. The Swadeshi worker not only symbolizes charkha and khadi, but also lives in simplicity and spirituality. In Gandhi's Swadeshi, economics would have a place, but would not dominate society because it is based on the principle of non-possessiveness. In short, we may say that Gandhi's identification of the Swadeshi movements with village industry was based on a twofold arrangement. That is, the urban population of India owed a special duty towards the villages, and secondly, this duty would be best discharged by providing a market for village products. Thus, Swadeshi provides the resurgence village industries through a process of self-reliance. If the indigenous industries are not protected from foreign competition, our niche skill will be ruined and the villages which constitute the greater part of the country will not prosper. Therefore, Swadeshi is specially meant for the basic unit of the society, that is, villages where production is made for consumption, not for exchange. The basic principle of Swadeshi is to produce for the fulfillment of the basic needs and not to produce for commerce, market and profiting. This requires the simplification of our economic structure. If the economy is restricted to small units, it can influence the people morally, make them self dependent. That was why Gandhi was not only against the big industries of the foreign multinationals, but also against the native multinationals which swallow the small scale industries and which make greater sections of people unemployed. But he was not totally against industries and technology. In fact, he wanted a balanced growth of villages as well as cities and small scale and big industries to form a harmonious, peaceful society. He wanted to free economy from greed. By his concept of Swadeshi, he wanted to construct an exploitation free society. To conclude, we can say that Gandhian concept of Swadeshi from its economic viewpoint is a concept of self-reliant economy. According to Asha Kaushik, the attainment of self-reliance has thus continued to be accepted as a cherished goal and ingredient of development of the country with a view to ensuring balance of payments, sustainability, avoidance of external debts, generating investable resources domestically and attain self-sufficiency in food and self-reliance in technology as well. Swadeshi is a warning against the killing of native skills and putting the nation in the trap of others. It stands for the natural growth of people than to make them live in luxuries while others starving. It permits taking the help of others for building one's own economy, but with great caution. If we enrich ourselves from others, Swadeshi welcomes it. But if we lose control over ourselves and fall between the endless wheels of exploitation, it is against the idea of Swadeshi. Gandhi's Swadeshi principle exhorted people to remain contented with the local condition and with the things that God provided for man's sustenance, instead of indulging in ruthless exploitation of other countries to obtain unnecessary luxuries. Thus, Gandhian concept of Swadeshi from economic point of view stands for strong belief in self-reliance, balanced growth and human economics, that is economics for larger and deeper life and not the economic of profit and market. The new economic policy of India is a clear deviation from the idea of Swadeshi, for this would not promote to make Indian people self-reliant and self-employed, but inertly this would result in foreign domination, deterioration of indigenous industries due to hard competition, and overall Indian economy will be an elitist economy than a mass economy. This will be a market economy rather than a need based economy and is bound to create disparities in society. This will be fatal to the permanent peace of nation. Hence, what is needed today is a cultural revolution of reduction of wants and adoption of Swadeshi in real spirit. In its true spirit, Swadeshi does not mean isolation. On the other hand, it means constant interaction, adaptation and technological updation. Inward looking economy is an outdated concept, but at the same time the opening of economy should not be at the cost of economic upliftment of local population. It should result into increased production, employment, growth in per capita income, HRD, equity and better living. Here Swadeshi means self excellence. It could not visualize the rise of one nation on the ruins of another nation. Gandhi made it clear again and again that Swadeshi did not mean exclusiveness or isolation or non-involvement with the rest of the world. On the contrary, he considered it to be proper and firm starting point of global cooperation. Hence, in a larger context, it can be conceived as an instrumental in realization of the greater mission of brotherhood of man. This will be in turn the proper and firm starting of global cooperation. The new global economic order is based on multiplicity of wants and consumerism, leading to violence and overutilization of resources. While the short term compulsions drive us towards a technological race, the long term solutions are to be searched within the Gandhian economic order. In this unit, we are trying to understand Swadeshi as a Gandhian alternative to globalization. The market driven globalization has widened the economic disparities among the nations and people. The quality of life, especially in rural areas, declined with a steady decline of social services, mainly in education and health. Gandhian concept of Swadeshi can be considered as a solution to this economic crisis. He realized that much of the heart rending poverty of the masses is due to the departure from Swadeshi in the economic life. Swadeshi is a belief in self-reliant economy. It is a corollary in Gandhi's stress on Khadi. Khadi or charkha became the symbol of Swadeshi as it provides dignified labor for millions. Gandhi believed that in order to withstand the onslaught of Western machinery, India should adapt self-supporting techniques, and for this Khadi and charkha represented the best alternative. Before we move to the next session, please try to answer the following questions. Examine the relevance of Gandhian concept of Swadeshi. What do you understand by Khadi economics? Explain briefly. Write a short note on the importance of village industries in Gandhian scheme of economics. Explain the rationale behind Gandhian scheme of village development via village industries. What is the relevance of charkha in Gandhian economics? Books for your reference are Globalization and Social Movements, Jogadhan, B.G. and Michael, Rawat Publication, Jaipur. Gandhi's Philosophy and Quest for the Harmony, Anthony J. Parel, Cambridge University Press, New Delhi. The Unfinished Business of Nation Building, Manmohan Singh, in the Hindu of 15th August 1997. Exploring Gandhi, Manmohan Chowdhury, Gandhi Peace Foundation of New Delhi. Hope you all enjoyed this session. See you next time. Goodbye.